still gonna have to show up when you don't feel like it. There are going to be days that may seem easier, may seem challenging, regardless if it was easy peasy, lemon squeezy, or if it was smooth sailings, you still have to show up for yourself. So this is what you need to know and why it's so important to keep going even when you feel like quitting. If you stop amongst your journey, you are never, ever, ever, never, ever, 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 ever going to get to where you need to be. Yes, I said never. Never would have made it without you. I would have lost my mind. Now I see you were there for me. I think, hold on, let me not mess up the word. You will not get to your destination if you give up on yourself. So in this video, we're just going to go over 5 tips that you need to start applying today when you come across this video. And the key word is need. Why is it a need? Well, because in life there are requirements. There are requirements. There are things that are required of you to achieve a certain outcome. You see, what you put out is what you get. It comes to the same things when it comes to your manifestations, materials, lifestyles, relationships, yourself, tomatoes, tomorrows, all those good things. Okay. So starting off with number 1, the first tip you need to keep in mind is that it's unfamiliar. So you do not know how long or when it's going to happen. You do not know how much time and energy it is going to be required of you to get to where you need to be or receive the things you want until it's time. Meaning you do not have control. So the best thing you need to start doing is letting go of the outcome. And that is going to be one of the most challenging things that you're going to do. That's why I listed it as number 1. The reason why it's so challenging is because when you're stepping into the unknown, when you're doing things that you've never done before, when you're showing up as a person that you've never experienced, or maybe you don't have the education, the finances, or you're just confused or you're scared, it can cause you to feel discouraged. It could cause you to feel uncomfortable. But the only reason why you're uncomfortable temporary is because you're doing something that you've never done before. Like trying to see something that you imagine in your head and making it into reality could be frustrating as well as overwhelming, because it's like you're not certain, but you have to gain a sense of security and trust within yourself. And that's another tip. But the main tip is to let go of the outcome. You trying to worry and figure out when things are going to happen and how it's going to happen is only going to frustrate you. And because there's only 24 hours in a day, it doesn't matter how many tasks you do. If it's going to happen on a certain time and a certain season and a certain weather, then that's when it's going to happen. It is not up to you to be frustrated, overwhelmed, or burn yourself out. A lot of people think that work is all you have to do, but it's like you need balance. It doesn't make sense to stress over something that you know is going to work out. And this, like I said, is an exercise. Everything, of course, all the tips and tricks when you come across this channel and these videos are going to require practice and patience. But mentally, once you can get there, and we're going to talk about that because we're a mental health channel. So we're going to get into that, but it's like you have to start with your mind. Everything starts within your mind. A lot of things, or not everything, but a good majority of your thoughts come from your mind or what's outside of you. So just because society says that you have to do things at a certain time, just because you see other people doing things at a certain time, does not mean that it's your time. Your time is not everybody else's. So trying to rush, trying to compare, and trying to worry about things that are outside of you when you only have a certain amount of information, you may be limited to access, your education, your finances, is not going to get you there any quicker, and it's not going to help you. And you're going to be constantly discouraged. So you have to let go of the outcome. Now, of course, if you want further details into that, of course, I'm going to continue to make series and playlists about that. But you got to relax. And that's the second thing. Like when you're doing something you've never done before, you have to take your time. So the best thing you can do, and what I've done, what has helped me along my healing journey, was take a nap. Whenever I felt overwhelmed, whenever I felt stressed out, whenever I just was like, I cannot do this or I don't want to do this, I lay down. Go for a walk. Decompress yourself, de-stress yourself by laying down, taking a shower, going for a walk, and finding situations and outlets for you to cope that will keep you grounded. So, I don't know if you guys can see. I have some water. I don't want to spill this. Ah! I did it anyways. It's okay. Hold on. I have a cup of water that I just spilled, but drink some water and do things that make you feel good. So the reason why I showed you guys the cup of water before it spilled all over my desk was that water makes me feel good. Not only is it good for your mental health, it keeps you hydrated. It keeps you to not be overwhelmed and worried. So when you learn to relax, You're not lazy. Anybody who says that you're lazy because you choose to relax is going to burn themselves out or might be a SLAVE. And that's what we don't want to be in 2024. We want to be burnt out and we don't want to be a SLAVE. Okay? A lot of people have this consumption that you have to work, like Rihanna and Drake said, work. But then you become tired, you become overwhelmed, you become stressed. And it's like, just because you work fast and hard doesn't mean it's going to change anything. It doesn't mean you're going to get there any quicker or achieve the things that you want. If anything, you're going to be burnt out. You're not going to be able to have the nervous system to maintain what it is that you want. And that's also a different topic for a different video. I'm going over a lot of gems, so make sure you guys get a pen and paper, okay, and write this information out and save it and come back to it. But if you don't even have the capacity to maintain the things that you want, you cannot receive it. And you know what? That's going to be the next topic for the next video. I'm going to say it again, you guys. If you do not have the capacity, good luck, Charlie. And that's why, honestly, things are not working out for you. You guys do not have the capacity. And you want it so bad, but it's like you have to pace yourself. This is something that takes time, energy, and effort. It's literally you unlearning and learning information. So if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and you've been taught a certain information or a certain perspective for 20 years, and you have to unlearn it and then learn, let's just say, a way of living, it's going to take a lot of time, energy, and effort. So relax. Anybody who makes fun of you or talks about you for resting, stay away from them. There have been a lot of people who felt the need to project certain things onto me, speaking from experience. And it's like, you all are working hard and I am working smarter. I'm not saying don't work at all, because if you don't work at all, of course, you're not going to be able to eat and pay your bills. I'm not telling you to do any of those things, but it's 2024. I don't have to work hard. We don't have to work hard. We can work smart. We can work wise. We can work efficiently. And most importantly, we have to take our time, because it's like, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, it's so many reasons on why people don't achieve the things that they want to do. But let's get back to the point. You got to relax. You can't worry about what society is saying. Just because certain people reach the goal at 25, 10 years old, 11, 18, doesn't mean that's the same reality for you, especially if you don't have the resources, the tools, the education that everyone else has, which if you're coming across this video, you don't. You have to work with what you have. You have to work with the support you have, whether it's a lot of people or it's just you, okay? So the third thing you need to realize is that you have to invest into other things during this time. So as you're waiting for something, it's not what you're waiting for because you know what it is that you want. It's how you're choosing to wait. So what I suggest is still watching TV, going out, having a social life, having fun, but making sure the things that you are investing into outside of you, other than this and waiting for your goals and your manifestations to happen, are in alignment with you. So stop watching the TV shows that got all the crazy chaoticness that make you feel overwhelmed, or comparisons, and even online. Stop following people that make you feel insecure or envious. Stop surrounding yourself in environments that don't allow you to feel seen, or you got to dim your light, where you're not appreciated. Like, stop listening to music that makes you feel degrading. Like, you have to shift your focus, because what you focus on grows. So like, you got to cut out certain things, but you can still do things. So if you used to watch TV shows and all they did was, like, let's just say, bad things that are not in alignment with you, start watching the TV shows where they have good things, because there's so many options and varieties in life. Like, you don't just have to watch one TV show for the rest of your life. Now, of course, if that's what you like, you're complacent, okay, cool. But if you're trying to grow and, like I said, unlearn and learn information, you got to switch things up. So like, instead of you eating fast food every single day, try to eat a salad, try to eat fruits and vegetables. Like, you got to invest into yourself the same way you want the energy to be returned into you. So I'm not saying, like I said, you can't go out, or just do things in moderation. If you drink, if you turn up, like, I can't tell you guys what you can and cannot do, but you know what you want to do. But you also have to be realistic. Like, you have to be willing to compromise. That's the best way I can explain it. Like, you have to be willing to compromise what you're focusing on, because it's like, you can't watch certain things on TikTok and then not think you're not going to feel that energy or want to do those things that you're seeing. Like, a lot of people are easily influenced, and there's nothing wrong with being influenced and inspired, but you have to be mindful of, who are you looking up to? Is this the lifestyle that you want to be similar to you? If not, separate yourself, create distance. And that's the same when it comes to your friends, your everyday life, your coworkers, your lovers. Just because you distance yourself from people doesn't mean that you don't have love for them. It just means, I don't have anything in common with you. We don't have any similarities. We're not compatible. So grow. Like, if you want to be the same person forever, these videos aren't for you. But if you're in the process of growing, if you're in the process of trying to better yourself, do what you need to do. It's not personal. So lastly, or one more thing, and then I'm going to end the video. Express how you feel. So if you're in a season right now and you're just tired, you keep showing up for yourself, you keep putting in the work, and you're like, Ty, I show up every single day. I'm constantly doing this. I'm constantly doing that. I don't have the money. Nobody wants to support me. Da 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 da. Say it. Express how you feel. If you're mad, say, I'm mad. If you're happy, say, I'm happy. If you're excited, shout, scream, touch your toes, do a jumping jack. Like, express how you feel, because you need to unleash. You need to release. I mean, unleash may be a word, okay? Brain fog. You need to release. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but you need to release what it is that's no longer serving you when it comes to your emotions and your thoughts. Let me go ahead and go to the next slide, because obviously I can't get my thoughts together. Any and everything that is no longer serving you. So when you're feeling some type of way, say, you know what, I don't feel good, and this is why. Just because you express how you feel doesn't make you weak. Just because you're expressing how you feel doesn't make you a loser, and it doesn't mean that you're like negative. You can have negative thoughts. That doesn't mean you're a negative person. If you know you're not a negative person, but you're experiencing negative thoughts, there's a reason. And the goal is to get to the root so you can realize, why are you feeling this way? Is it because you were projected information through like hearing something? Maybe you witnessed something. Maybe somebody said something to you. Like, regardless of what it is, we have to let go of it. So it's like, express how you feel in that moment. So therefore, the more you can release these negative thoughts, we can work on, like I said, our mindset, because that's what it's about, and changing the way we see things and feel about certain things. So lastly, I was going to give you a tip, but let me know what you guys like to do in your waiting season. I don't know what it is, but let me know what you guys like to do in your waiting season. Like recommendations or some tips and tricks, or any of the tips that I listed that you're struggling with. And if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to engage and ask in the comment section. So with all that being said, I'm going to end off the video. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. All information will be down in the description box down below. And if you want a one-on-one session, click the link, because availabilities are being booked, okay? It's only a couple more months left into this year. So it's like, keep showing up for yourself. Take your time. It's no rush. You don't have to look outside of you. You don't have to compare yourself. You're not lazy for taking a break. Anybody who's not financing you, feeding you, or supporting you is not for you. So it's like, do what you need to do. Invest into yourself. What you focus on grows. And when it's time, you will get to where you need to be. Love you. Bye.